Present day. The past never leaves you. Jorge's home. Texas, 12:15 a.m. The house was silent. Sandy had curled up in her usual spot, snoring softly. The night was still, except for the faint hum of cicadas outside. But Jorge wasn't ready to sleep. Something inside him stirred. Restlessness. A fire he hadn't felt in years. The weight of the past was pressing on his chest. He ran a hand through his hair, exhaling slowly. Then, as if his body knew before his mind did, his feet carried him toward the basement door. He hesitated. It had been years since he had gone down there. Too many memories. Too much of who he used to be. But tonight, something was calling him back. He reached for the doorknob, turned it. The old wooden stairs creaked under his weight as he descended into the dimly lit basement. The old gym. A relic of the past. Jorge flipped the light switch. A single flickering bulb struggled to illuminate the room. Dust coated the concrete floor. Stacks of boxes, old equipment, and forgotten memories lined the walls. But Jorge's eyes locked onto one thing. There, behind the clutter, an old heavy bag hung from a rusty chain. Beaten, scarred, worn, but still standing, just like him. He took a slow step forward. The smell of leather, sweat, and time filled his nostrils. His fingers brushed against the bag, and a wave of nostalgia hit him like a punch to the gut. Then, he saw it. Pinned to the wall, just beside the bag, was an old, faded photograph. He reached for it, his calloused fingers brushing away the dust. And there it was. A younger version of himself, drenched in sweat, arms raised in victory. Coach Mario, grinning wide, lifting him into the air after winning Brazil's national championship. The crowd behind them, roaring in celebration. Jorge's throat tightened. His chest ached with something he couldn't quite name. And then, he heard it. Flashback. Brazil, years ago. The gym was alive. The rhythmic pounding of gloves on heavy bags. The grunts of boxers pushing themselves beyond their limits. The sharp echoes of jump ropes slapping the ground. And above it all, one voice rang out. Garoto! Jorge could hear it like it was yesterday. Move your feet. Footwork sempre. The sound of a jump rope whipping the air. Again! Faster! Boxing isn't just about punching. It's about rhythm, timing, precision. Then, the sound of leather hitting leather. The heavy bag shaking from the impact of Jorge's fists. Isso! That's it, Garoto! But never forget! The voice grew softer, yet somehow more powerful. Never forget who you are, or where you came from. Back to the present. Jorge blinked, snapping back to reality. He was still standing in his basement. His hands trembled slightly. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from something deeper, something that had been dormant for too long. He turned back to the heavy bag, took a step forward, then another, his fists clenched. For a moment he hesitated. Then, he threw a punch. The bag swung violently, the sound of impact echoing through the basement. Then another punch, and another. Thud, thud, thud. His breathing grew heavy, his muscles burned, but he didn't stop. For the first time in years, Jorge wasn't lost in his failures. He wasn't thinking about what had been taken from him. He wasn't thinking about the men who had tried to break him. He was thinking about who he had been. The fighter, the warrior, the champion. And for the first time in decades, he wasn't just remembering Coach Mario's words, he was living them. Never forget who you are, or where you came from. Jorge stopped, breathing hard, sweat dripping down his brow. He turned back to the photograph, placing a hand on it gently. I remember, Coach, he whispered. I remember. And with that, the training began again.